Okay.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat.
It's really good to see all of you. I feel like it's been a really long time since I was in a Shabbat service. Maybe like 6 weeks or something. It's a long time. Yeah. Anyone have any gratitude moments to share from the week or the day?
It is spring break for those of us at the university and Eau Claire Public Schools.
It's always nice for those people to have a break who have a break. Those of us who don't, it's harder. It's good to have a break.
I did my first stand-up routine and got quite a good response, and I'm quite pleased.
I didn't know you were a comedian.
Apparently I didn't either. My first time.
Can you tell us a couple of jokes? Can I put you on the spot?
One of the jokes involved how my mother claimed that she was very unaware that she had a gay son, but yet at 7 I made a Valentine's Day card for the actor Sebastian Cabot, and I said, "Yep, here I was as a small child making a Valentine's Day card for a hefty, bearded man. Clearly, even at 7, I still had a type."
I guess so, yeah. I'm glad that's going well. Like, that could be your new job.
Well, let's not go crazy, but yeah.
Okay. Anything else want to share?
It's small, but I had this winter dream to harvest from our greenhouse, and it didn't really work. Nothing grew in Wisconsin in the winter, but I went out there yesterday, and within the greenhouse, in the cold frames, there's no snow in the greenhouse, and the ground is not frozen. So I get to plant seeds on Sunday, which is awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
It'll be sunny and well, maybe it'll be sunny. I don't know.
Yeah, so all the cold
Is it
weather
exciting?
things like kale and lettuce and spinach, I'm really excited. So grateful for that. Grateful for coming spring and hoping it will really happen on Monday.
Hope so on Monday. Free ice cream on Monday, usually.
Really?
I thought that Dairy Queen is offering free ice cream on Monday for some fun.
Not the real Dairy Queen, not that weird faux one that used to be a Dairy Queen, but it's not anymore.
Yes. Let's see. I am grateful for safe travel. I went to Chicago this week for a conference, which you'll hear about more in my sermon. And just glad I felt safe on the roads and felt safe to be in a group of people that was quite large. I haven't done that in a very long time, and so far no one's gotten sick from it. So that's very nice. I've done that. Yeah, Eric.
I have lots of things to be grateful for, but I'm particularly grateful for the heating right now.
It is sometimes I feel a little hot right now, but
It's
that's
working
good.
really well, Bruce.
It is good to have heat. No, last time it's way too cold. Well, wonderful. Thank you all for sharing and for being here. This is a poem by Cynthia Ryland. It's called God Woke Up. God woke up, and God was groggy. So God got a nice cup of coffee and went to sit under an apple tree. They sat there drinking their coffee, listening to the birds, when all of a sudden it hit God. God was happy. God was happy. And God wished there was just someone to see it. God had gotten such a bad rap after all these years for being pissed off all the time. And God really wasn't. Maybe a little cranky, but here God was, happy, mellow yellow. The birds were singing and God was at peace. Buddha told God it could be this way, but they've never really believed it until now. Life really was easier sitting under a tree. Our first song will be in our thinner red books on page 4. We note, you may know. I think it's the top of page, middle of page 4. helping us to remember to treasure every day, and that every day has its own purpose and is important to us.
So we'll do a couple repetitions, so you'll kind of catch on. We'll start in Hebrew and then English, and maybe do another Hebrew and then English. So. Limno yameinu, limno yameinu, limno yameinu keinoda, v'navi lava kokma. Again. Limno yameinu keinoda, levavi leva kokma. Let's try that again in Hebrew. Limno yameinu, limno yameinu, limno yameinu keinoda, levavi leva kokma. Limno yameinu keinoda, v'navi leva kokma. So English. Teach us to treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day, that we may open our hearts to your wisdom. Oh, teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Treasure each day. Teach us to treasure each day. Let's end with Hebrew. Limno yameinu, limno yameinu, limno yameinu keinoda, v'navi leva kokma. Limno yameinu keinoda, v'navi leva kokma.
The blessing for lighting candles is on the last page of your red books if you don't know it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Dangerous.
It's a double.
Oh,
It's double flame actually. It's a very long wick. Can make it be a blessing.
Yeah.
Everything's a blessing. Okay. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We'll turn to our prayer books, the thicker ones, to page 145 for Yadid Nefesh.
Yadid nefesh, Avarachaman, Avarachaman, Meshochatecha, Eretz Omecha, Eretz Omecha. Sing that again. Yadid nefesh, Avarachaman, Avarachaman, Meshochatecha, Eretz Omecha, Eretz Omecha. Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Anayan, Yishtachaveh, and Mul Hodorecha. Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo Anayan, Yishtachaveh, and Mul Hodorecha. Yadid nefesh, Avarachaman, Avarachaman, Meshochatecha, Eretz Omecha, Eretz Omecha.
Page 150. We pause for a few moments to let go of the week that has passed. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Like every other week, it has been a week of striving. We each had our agenda of what we wanted to do, and we each had great hopes for the week. But we did not accomplish all of our objectives. Although much remains undone, on Shabbat, we can pause. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. We can imagine our agenda drifting back to the back of our minds letting all of our strivings float away for a day. We can take in the fresh air of Shabbat and let go of our strivings. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Like every other week, it has been a week of struggle. At times, it seemed that everything was going wrong. At times, it seemed that we went from crisis to crisis. Although much is yet unsettled, on Shabbat, we can pause. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As Shabbat approaches, feel your concerns drift to the back of your mind. Let your struggles float away for a day and take in the fresh air of Shabbat and let go of your struggles. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. We let go of the week as we welcome Shabbat. We can join together for the Chadodi on page 152. I think we'll do the usual, usual verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the last verse, we will rise and face the entranceway.
This is a new one we did last month downstairs when we didn't have heat, and I was kind of winging it on the guitar. So it'll sound a little better on the piano, but just know, in Hebrew, when we sing those verses, each verse is different, like the rhythm is different. So my mouth and my mind doesn't always get the right words at the right time. So just be aware that this is a newer one for me, so I'm still stumbling on words. But we'll all stumble together and it'll feel great. Okay, so just wanted to say that. La 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 Chadodi, la 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 Nikraka, la 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 B'nei Shabbat Nekavena. One more time. La 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 Chadodi, la 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 Nikraka, la 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 B'nei Shabbat Shema Bazachor V'Divrei Echad Ish miyanu El Hamichad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Hashem Hu Tiferet V'Niti Lai Chadodi La 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 Miklat Kala La 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 B'nei Shabbat Nekavena Likrat Shabbat Lechu Melech Ki Mekor HaBracha Merosh Mikdem Lesucha Sof Ma'aseh Shabbat Zecheri La Chadodi La Niklaka Number 5. Hitori, hitori, kibore, mirori, uri, shiberi, keborano nayonai,
Please rise.
Gamba simcha, ruotsola, tokenule, amsekula, roikala, one more time, la la. La 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 Shatori, la 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 Vikrakala, la 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 Bnei Shabbat, Bnei Shabbat Nekamela.
Please be seated. We're going to turn back to our thinner books, to page 7, for Shalom Aleichem, to welcome in the messengers, the angels of Shabbat. We are told that there are 2 angels with us during Shabbat, and they sort of follow us throughout the day. They join you when you come to the synagogue, and then when you do Havdalah tomorrow night, the angels leave you. And so it's just nice to have those extra people with you to be your guide on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bohem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shuhem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Back in our prayer books, you can go to page 157, and we can do a bar fu. There are enough people today. Wonderful. So the bar fu is the first part of the page, and we rise for this. This is our call to worship.
This is a version actually from the Red Book, which has some English words, but you're welcome to stay right where you are. It's the Am I Awake? Sorry. Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Please be seated. We can join together in the English for the Ma'ariv Arabin. We bless you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe. You give the word, and evening arrives. You open the gates of heaven at the right times. You have established all the cycles wisely, days and nights, seasons and constellations, all progressing through the heavens in accordance with your will. You create day and night, rolling away light to make way for darkness, rolling away darkness to make way for light. Now you are removing light and bringing darkness, and you are separating between day and night. You are Adonai Tzibaot, ruling the heavenly bodies. You are a living God, an enduring God. You will rule over us and all of creation forever and ever. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Arabim. Page 158. Ahavat Olam is our prayer to express love between ourselves and God, between ourselves and each other, and also for ourselves. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Torah mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Elohim Adonai Elohim Yeshofenu, Umeinu nasiach b'efnecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha ve'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'va'em neged yomam v'layla, neged yomam v'layla. Ve'ahabatecha tasir, mimenu ve'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu Yisrael, The Shema is on the next page, 159. If you wish to rise, please do so. We're going to do it a little differently than we usually do. So I'm going to do the usual short Shema, and then Frankie is going to lead us in a longer English version by Debbie Friedman. I'm not sure if we have any words for it actually in this book, but it actually follows pretty much the English of the Be'ahafta, so you can try to follow along that way. Okay?
And may I just say that I did not bring along Debbie Friedman's Be'ahafta version, so it's just the initial Shema
Oh,
from
okay.
her. Next time we can do that, I just didn't know we were gonna do that, so
Okay, that's fine.
stay posted, come again. Sorry.
That's all right. All right.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. Veshinatam levanecha v'tivartam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uvletecha v'derech uvshokecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot v'neinecha uvtatam Amisuso betecha, ubisharecha. Leman tizkaru, asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim elechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim, Yolachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. The Mihamoka is found on page 162, the bottom 3 lines. We're getting closer and closer to Passover, to celebrating this wonderful time of Moses and Miriam and the Israelites being redeemed from Egypt, and it's wonderful to be able to sing about them as well.
Okay, so in the middle of this one, there's a refrain, and it's very easy because it's just la, 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 la. And that is, so that's super easy to learn the words. But it's a nigun, which is a wordless prayer. So we just sing la, 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 and we're lifting up prayer as we do so. But it uses the other lines of the Nikamoch. So it might be newer for some of you. It's a really fun one. Eventually it would get clapping and tambourine and all that stuff. So. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha medabakodesh, yorata hilot osefene, yorata hilot osefene. Lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai. Lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai. Malchutecha rauvanecha, pokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'omer, Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai Yimloch le'olam va'ed. Lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai. Lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, lai la lai lai, la 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 la.
I see that you really enjoyed it.
I do.
Page 163, we can read together the Hashkivenu in English. May you, Adonai, help us sleep in peace, and may you afterwards restore us to life. May you spread over us your sukkah of peace, and may your guidance enable us to grow. May you save us because that is your essence. May you protect us and banish from us all enemies, slaves, sword, hunger, or pain. May you remove all evil spirits from our path. May you protect us under the shadow of your wings. For you, Adonai, you watch over us and protect us. And you are a ruler who provides grace and mercy. May you guard our comings and goings, for life and for peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your sukkah of shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who spreads your sukkah of peace over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'akol amal Yisrael, all Yerushalayim. Page 165. Yitkata v'yitkata shomer haba, ve'alma dibra pirotei v'yamim malutei, ve'chayechon v'yom echon, u'chayetefo be'Yisrael. Bagala, u'bizman kariv, V'meru amen. Yehesh me'era ha'mehara, le'alam ha'me'amaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yikahar, v'yikamah, v'yinaseh, v'yitzadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei Kedusha Barechu, Le'elam Yivir Chata V'Shirata, Tush V'Chata V'Nech Amata, Talmir HaMe'ala, V'Meru Amen. The next page is our Amidah. please rise. This time we're going to do the whole thing, just to use more of our voices, and some of us like it more when we do the whole thing. So that would mean that we would do the Amidah section, and then the Avot, Imahot, and the next page, and we will end the bottom of that page, and we'll meet there for further instruction. All right. Adonai, Sefatayita, Ufika, Isagilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that I now may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu b'moteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Gadol HaGibor v'Hamurah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Kolei Hakol, Ve'Zocher HaTzevot Imahot, U'Mevin Gula Lifnei Bneihem, Le'man Shmo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Olam, Ufafetz Ha'olam. Atah Gibor Le'Hamonai, Mechayenu Ha'atzah Le'Yoshiach. Mashiach HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem. Mechatzah Chaim Be'Chesed, Mechayenu Chai Be'Rachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Ve'Rofet Cholim, U'Matzil Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shem Yachar. Michamocha b'Geburot, U'Midomecha, Melech V'Nid U'Mechayeh, U'Matzliach Yeshua. V'ne'eman atah le'hayot kol chai, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh kol chai. Atah kadosh kadosh, Kedoshim v'koyom ya'alun ha'aseh. Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim hakadosh. Page 171. In the middle of the page where it says Thanksgiving, we can read the English together. We acknowledge your presence in our lives. We thank you for all of your blessings. We bow to you, for you are Adonai our God, and God of our ancestors forever and ever. You are the rock of our lives. You are the shield of our salvation, from generation to generation. We thank you and speak your praises. For our lives that are entrusted into your hand, for our souls that are in your care, for your miracles that are with us every day, for your wonders and favors that are with us at every moment, evening, morning, and noon. Source of goodness, whose mercies never end, source of mercy, whose kindnesses never cease. We have always put our hope in you. We can take some time now for silent prayer, the prayers of your own heart. And when you're done, you can be seated. Yehi ratson imrefi V'hevyom libi lefanecha Adonai Tsuri Adonai Tsuri Adonai Tsuri Ve'goali Yehiyu leratson imrefi Ve'hevyom libi lecha Adonai Tsuri Adonai Tsuri Adonai Tsuri Ve'goali The month of March has always brought challenges for me, not just because it marks the arrival of daylight savings. In college, March was deemed the disgusting month because everything was melting and muddy. There weren't any breaks from classes, and the month took forever. My clothes and shoes were ruined by the weather, and the outdoor track season was always freezing. Sometimes we'd be on the bus, and the sky would look absolutely beautiful, and I'd be hopeful for my race. And then I'd get to the starting line, and it would start freezing rain and snowing at the same time. I'm outside when this is all happening. And so March has never been a favorite month of mine. When I was in Israel, during my first year of rabbinical school, March was the beginning of the end. They called it Purim, Passover, and packing. It was a sad and rushed time, and it felt like there just wasn't enough time to discover more of Israel and to enjoy the sacred moments before it was over. In my last year of school, March brought COVID in 2020, and our worlds changed forever. In 2021, I was renewing my contract with my previous congregation in Dubuque and decided to leave and join this community. I don't regret joining this community, that's not the message. But the change and the leaving and how the situation played out with the other community, that was very challenging for me. And this March, things have not gone my way so far already. I've received unexpected news and I've felt angry. And one decision was made and now things feel very difficult and different. I know that in the time of Adar, when Purim comes around, we are told to rejoice. In fact, we are told that our joy will increase when Adar begins. And so listing off these challenges seems to be the opposite of Adar's plan. I've always found Purim to be a mysterious holiday, and I've never really enjoyed it, and truthfully, I kind of dread the holiday. The themes of Passover, however, resonate with me much more, and looking forward now, they can give me hope. Earlier this week, I attended a conference in Chicago. It was a conference about Israel education, finding ways for educators to weave Israel instruction into their curricula instead of it being the focus of a single day for class. Throughout the conference, speakers brought up the tragic and stressful situation in Israel and expressed that they did not know what lay ahead for Israel or for themselves or for their families. In this time of despair, violence, and loss, they were feeling unmotivated, stuck, and uncertain. Listening to these narratives, I nodded along, knowing I felt the same way, not only about my personal experience, but also about the situation in Israel. But the conference was not meant to leave its participants with a sense of disgruntlement. Instead, the leaders worked to instill hope in us. Stories of overcoming hardship were shared. For example, a basketball player who suffered many injuries and cancer found a new direction in her career because of those challenges. A poet watched the Oslo Accords around him and started a poetry journal that has blossomed into a monthly issue today. A surfer who made bad decisions when he was a kid started a program to help Israeli children finish school by teaching them the beauty of surfing. And there were so many of these stories. Each speaker was experiencing difficult moments of Israel's history and Israel's present. And yet they chose to lean into the hope that came out of it, not the sadness or the violence. Speakers were asked, "What gives you hope?" And one answered, "The people. They're fascinating, personal, and real. I can see how they lean into responsibility and how they use their hearts in their actions." Another said, "Even in this scary time, there is so much good to hear about. It feels like it is a tsunami of good, and there is a fear that it could be wiped out. Hopefully the good will be strong enough to withstand everything." Our feelings of stuckness can be shifted, and the situation will change each day. More and more people are joining this journey of reconciliation and healing amidst the crisis of Israel. Watching my patients endure struggle after struggle, I've seen them choose to tell themselves that they can get through it and to change their focus. And I get in myself, mantra after mantra, telling myself, "The sun always rises," or "Head up, eyes forward." And still I find it hard to see hope and to feel hopeful. But I learned from this conference that maybe those sayings aren't enough. I need to choose to focus on what might be next instead of what I've lost. The status of a situation doesn't have to be the final result. It often isn't. There is always more to come and to discover. I can frame it differently. Perhaps it would be helpful to treat these difficult moments as wake-up calls, as times when I'm pushed outside my comfort zone and forced to find something different and better. In the Talmud, there is a midrash centered around the Passover story that we can lean into as well. Upon hearing of Pharaoh's decree to drown newborn Israelite males, Amram, the father of Moses and Miriam, said, "We are laboring in vain." And so he divorced Yocheved, his wife, and the rest of the Israelite husbands followed suit. Miriam confronted her father, saying, "Pharaoh decreed against the males, but you decree against the males and females. In the case of the wicked Pharaoh, perhaps his decree will be fulfilled, perhaps not. Whereas in your case, because you are so pious, your decree was followed." After hearing this, Amram remarried Yocheved, and the rest of the men took their wives back. Miriam bases her arguments on logic, but also on hope. While Pharaoh's decree might be carried out, perhaps it would not. Amram's decision actually carried more finality. His plan would prevent not only the birth of Israelite boys, but also of girls. And so his action is even harsher than Pharaoh's. As a child, Miriam prophesied that her mother would give birth to a son who would redeem Israel. When he was born, light filled the room. And Amram kissed Miriam on the head, saying, "Your prophecy has been fulfilled." And when they threw him into the river in the basket, he slapped her on the head and said, "Where is your prophecy?" And thus it is written, "And his sister stood from afar in order to know what will be done to Moses, to know what will become of her prophecy." With Moses' birth, the bright light of hope fills the room. When his mother hatches a plan to flood him down the Nile, near the bathing place of Pharaoh's daughter, a devastated Amram protests, but not Miriam. She follows her dream, standing by, ready to help keep her brother alive. And at just the right moment, she pops out from behind the bushes to ask Pharaoh's daughter if she can get a Hebrew nurse to suckle the child, and leads Moses' mother to the princess. Miriam embodies the hope her father seems to have lost. This story reminds me to find other ways and to come out of a difficult situation. It reminds me that I can reframe what happened. I have that control that can lead to hope. I am looking forward and trying to keep that flame of hope going. I am relying on change in the seasons to show me that change can be good and can lead to warmth and good and openness. Passover is in 3 weeks, and with it comes hope as Israelites escape the Egyptians and are redeemed. Crossing the Red Sea, they turn their eyes to the Promised Land, not knowing what was ahead, but feeling hopeful that it just might be better than what they were leaving behind. In our times of struggle, whether it's a hard day at work, a health scare, a time of loss, or just another mundane day, we are forced to see something different. We are implicitly being told, "Don't take this for granted. It won't always be this way." We are forced to imagine something different and something better. It's hard to change our mindsets, but it won't always be this way. Seasons will change, flowers will blossom, people will come and go, and we are left to kindle the flame of hope within us. I hope you can add some logs and find that spark of hope again as we enter the season of Passover and look forward to the Promised Land. In this difficult season, we can think of those who need healing, whether in our communities, in our families, in this synagogue. If you're thinking of someone today, I encourage you to lift them up and share their name with us.
Michael Spiritual, Tamara Reese.
My friend Devesh.
Kim Truman.
Danielle, for recovery from surgery.
We think of all those names and think of those with no one to say a blessing for them, those in hospitals and nursing homes and rehab facilities. The Misha Barak is on page 82 on the right-hand side.
If I may, I'm going to invite you to include the English words if you would like. I'm going to do a Misha Barak that is actually in your red book, and it is the Lisa Levine one, so it would be on page 5 if you wish to. Otherwise, you could just sing the Hebrew words, but they're all there. And there's a little echo. It's actually written into the text. So when I sing, hear our prayer, you can answer back, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Yeah, you got that. Page 5 on that little red supplement, something right there. Okay, if I find it, we'll be able to do it. Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Berachel. May the one who blessed your mothers, may the one who blessed your fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your love. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. We shall berach Imatenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Berachel. May the one who blessed your mothers, may the one who blessed your fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
I hope we can all feel a bit of healing as well. The Aleinu is found on page 179. And when you get there, you can rise. Aleinu Shabbat Adon HaKol, Lateit Gevaya Bereshit, Shelo Asan Kulei Hamatzot, Velo Samanu, Mishpachot Adama, Shelo Samanu Alem, Vegol Aleinu Yechol Hamonam. Naflu Kori, Umishavim Uadim, Livnei Melech, Malei Hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nemar, Adonai, Melech HaKol Haaretz, Vayom Havu, Vayom Havu, Im Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo, U'Shemo, U'Shemo Echad. Please be seated. We pray that we might know before whom we stand. The power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live. We pray for the winds to disperse the choking air of sadness, for cleansing rains to make parched hopes flower, and to give all of us the strength to rise up toward the sun. We pray for love to encompass us, for no other reason than we are human. For love through which we may all blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives. We pray to stand upright. We fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us in the world of beauty. We pray for opened eyes. We pray who are blind to our own authentic selves. We pray that we may walk in the garden of a private, purposeful life, our own powers in touch with the power of the world. Praise be to God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women flower toward the sun. This week we are thinking of Jacob Moses, Nate Cooks, David H. Satz, Fannie Faye Lotwin, Kenneth Ross, Harry Abramson, Jean Cushman, Alan Bernstein, Sarah Moses, Robert Joseph, no, not that one, sorry, Ruth Edelstein Karen, Charles Lotwin, and Rabbi Theodore Gordon. Are there any other names you wish to add that you're thinking of at this moment?
Sandra Bench.
We hold all those names in our hearts. The Kaddish is found on page 182. Please rise. Yit Gadol, Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma, Divrach, Pirtei, V'yamlich, Malchutei, V'hayakon, Yomachon, Uchaye, Techol Beit Yisrael, Agava, Vizman, Hariv, Ve'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Nevarach, Le'olam, Alei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramah, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Tekudesha, Baruch Hu. Kol birkata, Shirata, Tushbechata, Nechemata, Yiran Be'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom V'romav, V'yasei Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru, Amen. May their memories be a blessing. Please be seated. We'll end our service on page 7 in our hymn books with Return to Your Soul, at the very top of the page.
And I wrote this a couple of years ago. I usually do it before the season of, month of Elul, right before the high holy days, because it's kind of this sense of returning. But it really is, it fits very well with Passover. And I love the thought that I've incorporated, just returning to your soul with its pureness, with its light, with and finding hope and gratitude and that strength once again. Go. Return to your soul. Return to your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you want to be. Return to a soul that is pure as the light, and a heart that is willing to hold. Love and compassion, kindness and peace, gratitude for every breath you breathe. Return to your soul. Return to your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you want to be. Return to a soul that is pure as the light, and a heart that is willing to hold. Rachamam, Chesed v'Shalom, gratitude for every breath you breathe. Return to your soul. Return to your soul.
May the Holy One who blessed your family protect you, and may you feel a spark shining from within you. May you feel the warmth of a holy light. May you be embraced in love and understanding, and may you be blessed with peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You can join us downstairs for drinks and snacks. What?
What's behind these closets?
I'm
I'm sorry,
sorry,
I am endlessly
You're so curious.
nosy. Nosy's the word.
This one has a ladder.
Oh, okay, probably just me.
Yeah, it's just for.
Okay.
But that's something super special for the fetish.
Well, I don't know.
You keep the monsters back here, and we'll let them out when you're gone.
No, they're under my bed.
I'm not sure what this is. Other stuff.
That's where
I
they
apologize for my nose.
That's where they put you when you're. That's where they
It's
put
good
you
to be
when
curious.
Do you want me to reach these?
You can. There's a switch on the left-hand side that turns the whole thing off. You just press it. I think you just press it.
Or not. No.
No. Apparently, I am too dull.
I'm not sure that's the problem.
Oh, I'm just gonna walk